Welcome back to the deep dive. Today we're looking at a document you've brought in, and honestly, it offers a really surprising, maybe even radical take on joint pain.
It really does. This source material, it steps away from the usual ideas, simple wear and tear, just getting older. It talks about a very specific enzyme mechanism being the main driver behind joint issues.
Okay, let's start where the document does. It uses this great visual, doesn't it? A healthy joint, like a smooth, well-oiled hinge.
Exactly that. The kind that just glides, no noise, no effort. And then it shows the opposite.
Yeah.
A rusty hinge, stuck, grinding, painful. That rusty picture the document says, that's what's actually happening inside a painful joint because of this enzyme.
So the source is arguing it's not just general inflammation, not just years of use piling up. It's blaming this specific thing, this rust enzyme.
That's the core argument in this document, yes. It claims joint pain isn't primarily from mechanical wear or inflammation. It's the damaging activity of an enzyme they call matrix metalloproteinase, or, MMP for short.
MMP. Okay. Sounds technical. What does the source say this enzyme usually does, like its day job?
Well, the report explains MMPs are actually natural. We need them.
Right.
They help maintain and repair cartilage. They break down the old damaged bits so new stuff can replace it.
Ah, okay. So they're part of the body's maintenance crew, sort of.
Precisely. But, and this is the key claim in the source, this enzyme can become overactive.
Mm.
And when that happens, according to this document, it doesn't just clear out the old stuff. It starts aggressively breaking down healthy cartilage too fast.
Oh.
Like rust eating metal, right? That's the analogy.
Mhm.
It eats holes in the cartilage. And that, the report argues, leads directly to that painful bone-on-bone grinding.
That rust enzyme metaphor really sticks. It paints a clear picture of something destructive. But what does the source claim makes this MMP go haywire? It points to something pretty unexpected, right?
It does, yeah. It makes a really controversial claim here. The document argues the main trigger isn't like your diet or how active you are, but exposure to toxic heavy metals.
Heavy metals. You mean like lead, mercury, things like that.
Exactly.
Where does the report claim we're even getting exposed to these?
Well, the source lists quite a few common ways it thinks this happens. Industrial pollution in drinking water, for one.
Hmm.
Toxic fertilizers getting into the soil, air pollution, car exhaust, factory fumes. Even some products mentions older kids' toys, some cosmetics, and food, especially animals, absorbing metals from, well, their environment.
Wow, okay. So the report suggests they're kind of everywhere,
Right.
and they just build up.
Yes, that's what the document claims.
Okay.
Unlike other toxins, it says these metals don't get flushed out easily. They accumulate, maybe over decades. And crucially, the source argues, they get stored deep inside your bones.
Their bones.
Yeah, which is why the report says regular blood tests often miss them. They aren't just floating around in your blood. They're like deposited in the bone tissue.
And the document suggests that doctors, the medical community, they often overlook this heavy metal connection.
That's a really key point it makes. The source suggests that because the usual focus is on symptoms, aging, inflammation, wear and tear, this potential underlying issue of heavy metals gets missed. So the report claims the standard treatments, like pills or even surgery, they don't actually fix the root cause as presented in this specific document.
Right. And given this whole idea of heavy metals triggering the rust enzyme, the report also says something pretty bold about common joint pain solutions, like why they might not work or could even backfire.
It does. It argues that some really popular supplements, things people take all the time for joints, collagen, bone broth, even turmeric, might actually speed up the joint damage, which is, yeah, definitely surprising compared to what you usually hear.
Okay, hold on. Collagen, bone broth. Aren't those supposed to be like the building blocks for healthy cartilage? How could they make it worse, according to the source?
Well, according to the document, it all loops back to the heavy metals again. The report argues that since collagen and bone broth often come from animals, and those animals might have picked up heavy metals from their environment, the soil, water, their feed, these products can actually contain concentrated amounts of those metals. So the source claims when you take them, you might be adding more fuel to the fire, basically, more triggers for that rust enzyme.
Wow, that's completely counterintuitive. And turmeric, I mean, everyone talks about it for inflammation.
Yeah, the report gets specific here. It focuses on certain types of turmeric, especially ones imported or maybe handled by certain Western companies. It claims, and this is a strong claim, that sometimes lead is added, maybe for weight, maybe to make the color brighter yellow.
Lead? Seriously?
That's the claim in the document. It suggests this could lead to potential lead issues, which then, according to the source's logic, triggers the rust enzyme. So the very thing you're taking to help could potentially worsen the joint problem you're trying to solve, according to this source anyway.
Okay, so if the document says heavy metals are the root cause, and some common supplements might even add to the load, what's the proposed fix? It mentions a 7-second trick or something.
Yes, the report introduces a natural approach. It claims this approach can block the rust enzyme's activity and help rebuild healthy cartilage.
And what's the star ingredient in this approach, according to the source?
Based on the document, the absolute key is a specific extract from pine bark. It's called pycnogenol.
Non-genol, okay. How does the source claim that works? What's the mechanism against this rust enzyme?
The report points to research again, according to the source, showing pycnogenol directly inhibits that MMP rust enzyme. It mentions one study suggesting a 50% drop in the enzyme's activity.
50%, okay.
And it also claims pycnogenol stimulates new collagen growth. It cites another study supposedly showing a 41% increase in collagen production. Plus, it's claimed to protect and even increase the number and function of chondrocytes.
Chondrocytes, those are the cartilage-building cells, right?
Exactly. The cells that actually make and repair the cartilage. So the claim is pycnogenol helps on multiple fronts.
And what about results? Does the report claim people actually felt better using this?
It describes results from a study where participants reportedly had significant pain reduction. They were apparently able to use fewer pain meds. And it claims a big increase in physical ability, specifically saying they could walk for over 2 hours longer each day without pain or stiffness.
That sounds pretty dramatic. Now, the document then talks about a specific product, right? Joint Glide, which uses pycnogenol but adds other things too.
That's right. The report outlines this product, Joint Glide, built around pycnogenol, but it includes 9 other ingredients claimed to boost joint health even more.
Okay, maybe touch on a couple of those. What does the source claim they do, like Devil's Claw?
Devil's Claw, yeah. The report claims it can relieve pain similar to some NSAIDs, but without the side effects mentioned in the source. It's also claimed to help chondrocyte function, reduce the rust enzyme a bit more, and this is interesting, help pull water into the cartilage, make it thicker, more cushioned.
Cushioning, that's interesting. What else? White willow bark.
White willow bark is in there too. The report says it helps with pain and inflammation because it has a compound similar to aspirin's main ingredient. It also claims it protects collagen from the rust enzyme because of an antioxidant called catechin, and again, helps boost chondrocyte function.
So another pain reliever and collagen protector. What about MSM and glucosamine? They show up in lots of joint stuff.
They are in this formula too, yes. The source describes them as the basic raw materials, the building blocks your body needs to actually make collagen and cartilage tissue.
Okay.
But the report makes a specific point here. It claims these building blocks, MSM and glucosamine, they only really work well after the rust enzyme's damage has been slowed down or stopped by the other ingredients like the pycnogenol, Devil's Claw, and white willow bark.
Okay. So the source is saying you need to stop the demolition before the construction crew can really do its job effectively. Makes sense. Any others?
It also lists zinc, copper, magnesium, and vitamin B6. These are presented as working together synergistically, claimed to help the body's own collagen production, make the collagen fibers stronger and more stable, protect cartilage tissue further, and help convert the raw materials into usable collagen.
So a whole support team for building and protecting. One more.
Last one mentioned is black pepper extract, specifically piperine. The source gives it pain-relieving and anti-inflammatory properties. It even cites a study claiming it's almost as effective as a particular arthritis drug mentioned in the report.
Okay, so pulling it together, this document presents Joint Glide as this multi-angle attack. Stop the rust, provide the building materials, and ease the pain naturally. And the report doesn't just talk ingredients, it describes big life changes.
Oh yeah, the document really paints a picture of transformation. Waking up without stiffness, being active again, playing with grandkids without pain. Just overall boosts in confidence, freedom, energy, feeling more positive, that kind of thing.
And it backs us up with stories, testimonials.
It does. It shares specific examples, claims from people like Sarah, Susan from Denver, reportedly climbing stairs again. Michael from Austin claiming he could hike and golf pain-free. Mindy from Seattle reporting she could do small things again, like buttoning shirts, opening jars. Emily from Boston feeling independent. Robert from Newark back to fishing and golf. Linda from San Diego getting back to walking on the beach, playing pickleball. These are all presented in the report as direct results people saw.
Seems quite compelling as presented. The document also gets practical, right? How to get this product. Guarantees.
It does. It states pretty clearly the Joint Glide is only sold through the website connected to the report. The reasons given in the document are 1, quality control made in the USA, GMP certified, tested, all that. And 2, keeping the price down by avoiding retail markups.
Makes sense. And the pricing structure laid out in the report.
The source lists a few options presented as special offers. One bottle is $69 plus shipping. A 3-bottle pack, called the most popular, is $59 per bottle, and the shipping's free. And then the 6-bottle pack, the best value, according to the source, is $49 per bottle, also with free shipping. These were framed as limited-time deals in the document.
And what about a guarantee?
The report mentions a 60-day money-back guarantee, based purely on satisfaction. It claims many see results much faster, like within 3 to 7 days, but the 60 days gives people confidence. And it explicitly states you get a full refund, even if the bottles are empty.
That's a pretty strong guarantee described there. Any other quick details from their FAQ section as the report presents it?
Yeah. The force claims it's safe citing the 10 natural ingredients, manufacturing standards. Recommends taking 2 capsules a day with water or food. Estimate shipping in the U.S. is about 5-7 business days. It also mentions the ingredients are claimed to be safe with most medications, but, standard advice. Check with your doctor.
Okay, so let's try and wrap this deep dive up. We've looked through a document that really flips the script on joint pain. It argues the main issue might be this rust enzyme, MMP, kicked into overdrive by heavy metals we pick up from the environment, not just simple wear and tear.
Right. And it controversially claims some common remedies, like collagen or even turmeric, could potentially make things worse by adding more metals, according to their theory.
Exactly. And the alternative solution presented in the source revolves around this product, Joint Glide, using pectogenol and other natural ingredients, which are claimed to block that enzyme, help rebuild cartilage, relieve pain, and, based on the testimonials shared, lead to some pretty significant life improvements for users.
It's definitely a perspective that goes against a lot of the standard advice about managing chronic joint problems.
It absolutely is. And maybe the thought this document leaves us with is, how much might we be overlooking subtle, long-term environmental factors? Things like low-level heavy metal exposure in our understanding of common health issues like chronic pain. It kind of pushes you to think, maybe we need to look beyond just the most obvious explanation sometimes when dealing with these really persistent health challenges.